Omagyanatimirandasya Yananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitanyena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauda Tvise Namaha. So we're continuing this morning with Chaitanya-charitamrita. We are in Madhya Lila, chapter 2, the ecstatic manifestations of Lord Chaitanya. So, see where we are. Got 2 markers here. We left off in like 50. It's right here. Here we are. This is where we left off. Okay. I'll read that last verse where we ended again. 52. Pida birnavakala kuta katuta garvasya nirvasano nisyandena mudam sudhamadurima hankala sankochanaha prema sundari nanda nandana paro jagarti yasyantare yayante sputamasya vakra maduras tenaiva vikrantayaha. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke, "My dear beautiful friend, if one develops love of Godhead, love of Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, all the bitter and sweet influences of this love will manifest in one's heart. Such love of Godhead acts in 2 ways. The poisonous effects of love of Godhead defeat the severe and fresh poison of the serpent. Yet there is simultaneously transcendental bliss, which pours down and defeats the pride of nectar and diminishes its value. In other words, love of Krishna is so powerful that it simultaneously defeats the poisonous effects of a snake, as well as the happiness derived from pouring nectar on one's head. It is perceived as doubly effective, simultaneously poisonous and nectarian." Jekale deke Jagannath Shridam Subhajasat Tobe jane hailam Kuruketra Safa hoilo jivan dekilu padmalochan Judaila tanu mana netra. When Mahaprabhu would see Jagannath along with Balaram and Subhadra, he would immediately think that he had reached Kurukshetra, where all of them had come. He would think that his life was successful because he had seen the lotus-eyed one, whom, if seen, pacifies the body, mind, and eyes. Garude sanidhane rahi kore darashane se anandar ki kohi bobole Garuda stambera tale ache ek nimna kale se kalo borilo ashu jole. Staying near the Garuda Stamba, the Lord would look upon Lord Jagannath. What can be said about the strength of that love? On the ground beneath the column of the Garuda Stamba was a deep ditch, and that ditch was filled with the water of his tears. Wow. Taha hoite gore asi, matira upade vasi, nake kore prithvi likan. Kaha kaha Vrindavan, kaha Gopendra Nandan, kaha se vamshi vadan. When coming from the Jagannath temple to return to his house, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to sit on the ground and mark it with his nails. At such times he would be greatly morose and would cry, "Alas, where is Vrindavan? Where is Krishna, the son of the king of the cowherd men? Where is that person who plays the flute?" Kaha se Tribhangatam, kaha se Venugan, kaha se Jamuna Pulin, kaha se Rasa Vilas, kaha Nitya Gitahas, kaha Prabhu Madana Mohan. Mahaprabhu used to lament by saying, Where is Shri Krishna, whose form is curved in 3 places? Where is the sweet song of his flute? And where is the bank of the Jamuna? Where is the rasa dance? Where is that dancing, singing, and laughing? Where is my Lord Madana Mohan, the enchanter of Cupid? Utilo nana bhava vek, mone hoilo udveg, kan matra nade gohaite, prabal viraha nole, darja hoilo talamole, nana shlok lagila podite. In this way, various ecstatic emotions evolved, and the mind of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu filled with anxiety. He could not escape even for a moment. In this way, because of fierce feelings of separation, his patience began to totter, and he began to recite various verses. This verse is from Bilva Mangal Thakur, and our Gurudev liked very much. Amunya danyani dinantarani hadetvada lokana mantadena anata bandha karunaika sindhu ahanta katam nayami. O my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, O Friend of the helpless, you are the only ocean of mercy. Because I have not met you, my inauspicious days and nights have become unbearable. I do not know how I shall pass the time. O Friend of the helpless, you are the only ocean of mercy. Because I have not met you, my inauspicious days and nights have become unbearable. I do not know how I shall pass the time. Tomar darshana vine, adanyai rachi dine, he kalo na jai katan. Tumi anatera bandhu, apar karuna sindhu, kripa kori deho darshan. So we see this is something that Kaviraj Goswami does on occasion throughout Chaitanya-charitamrita. He'll quote a Sanskrit verse, which is, somewhat well known in the Vaishnava community, and then he gives in his own kind of like expanded translation in Bengali, right? So he cites the Sanskrit, and he's like exploring the mood of that verse in Bengali, like elaborating upon it. That very beautiful. Gurudev appreciated some of these explanations very much. Very beautiful. And this verse in particular I wanted to mention, the Sanskrit verse of Bilva Mangal. One thing I wanted to mention was we hear that our Gurudev, during his last visit to Sokhel, which would have been like 2008, I believe 2008. May have been 2007. But it was the point is, it was the very last meeting that he had with the devotees in Sokhel. And it was the morning before he left. He was like, about to go, right? And he was having like the final darshan with the devotees, and he chanted this verse. We heard from some of the devotees who were there. And we have one devotee in New York City. He's called Anata Bandhu. And so Gurudev was reminded of, because this Anata Bandhu, this doesn't translate so well into English, but the word Nath means like Lord, right? Anat means who has no Lord. And so Bandhu is friend. Bandhu is friend. So the friend of those who have no one, right? Those who are shelterless, who have no guardian, right? You are the friend of those people, right? So this devotee has this name, and Gurudev was reminded of this verse, and then he gave this it seemed like he was giving some instruction to the devotees, and how, what was it exactly that he said? But the point is that he was speaking about this mood of separation, and how I could remember exactly. But he was conveying this idea, like, he knew it was his last visit, right? No one else knows. It was like he was conveying this idea, like we can be united, in the, like, you will remember me in the heart, and and that he was speaking about how important this mood of separation was, and along those lines. So it's like he was instilling something in the hearts of the devotees there, right? That we will be physically separated, but through that, like, that longing, that desire in your heart, and that mood of separation, we will remain united, we will remain connected. This was the idea that he conveyed. So now Kaviraj Goswami is exploring this verse, and he has this Bengali here. All these inauspicious days and nights are not passing, for I have not met you. Like this is the type of feeling we should have in our heart, right? Like, we can't live without you. It should be something that takes root in our heart in a deep way. To value this connection that we have. It is difficult to know how to pass all this time, but you are the friend of the helpless and an ocean of mercy. Kindly give me your audience, for I am in a precarious position. Utilo bhava chapal, man hoilo chanchal, bhaver gati bhuja na jai. Adarshane poreman, kemone pabu darashan, Krishna tai puchen upai. In this way, the Lord's restlessness was awakened by ecstatic feelings, and his mind became agitated. No one could understand what course such ecstasy would take. Because Lord Chaitanya could not meet the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, his mind burned. He began to ask Krishna about the means by which he could meet him, by which he could reach him. This is the only question, right? The only feeling and the only question. I'm separated from my Lord, who is everything to me. How can I find him? How can I get his connection? It's the only question. It's the only headline, right? It's the only news. But now this verse, Gurudev liked this verse too. I don't remember where it's from. It's also Bilva Mangal Thakur. Chaishavam jibhuvanabhutamidya vehi makchapalam chatavavamamavadi gamyam tadkim karomi viralam murali vilasi ugdam mukambhujam dikshitam ikshanabhyam. O Krishna, O flute player, the sweetness of your early age is wonderful within these three worlds. You know my unsteadiness, and I know yours. No one else knows about this. I want to see your beautiful, attractive face somewhere in a solitary place. But how can this be accomplished? Tumara madhuri bol, tate mor chapal, he dui tumi ami jani. Kaha karo, kaha jao, kaha gele toma pao, taha more, kaha toha pani. My dear Krishna, only you and I know the strength of your beautiful features, and because of them, my unsteadiness. Now this is my position. I do not know what to do or where to go. Where can I find you? I'm asking you to give directions. Nana bhave prabhalya, hoilo sandisha bhalya, bhave bhave hoilo mahadan, otsukya chapalya dhonya, roshamarshadi sonya, premon mahatabar karan. Because of the various kinds of ecstasy, contradictory states of mind occurred, and this resulted in a great fight between different types of ecstasy. Anxiety, impotence, humility, anger, and impatience were all like soldiers fighting, and the madness of love of Godhead was the cause. Mata gaja bhavagan, prabhu deho ikovan, gaja yude raner dalan, prabhu hoilo divyonmad, tanu maner avasad, bhavaveshe kore sambodan. The body of the Lord was just like a field of sugar cane, into which the mad elephants of ecstasy entered. There was a fight amongst the elephants, and in the process the entire field of sugar cane was destroyed. Thus transcendental madness was awakened in the body of the Lord, and he experienced despondency in mind and body. In this ecstatic condition, he began to speak as follows. This verse just kills me. Srila Sridhar Maharaj includes this in Prapana Jivanamrita. It's so powerful. He Deva, He Daita, He Bhuvanaika Bandhu, He Krishna, He Chapa, He Kurunaika Sindhu, He Nata, He Ramana, He Nayana Viram, Ha Ha Kadanu Bhavitasi, Padam Dishur Me. So this Hey is like calling out, like oh, right, like calling out. And then he's referring to the Lord by all these different names, right? Deva, like oh Lord, Daita, my beloved, Bhuvanaika Bandhu, who is the friend of the world, of the universe. Krishna, Chapal, restless, like Chanchal in Bengali, Chapal, restless. Kurun, hey Kurun, oh ocean of mercy. But this Aik is Eka, right? Only mercy, only ocean of, you are the only ocean of mercy. You are the only friend of the universe. Hey Nayana Biram, beautiful, beautiful to my eyes. He Deva, He Daita, He Bhuvanaika Bandhu, He Krishna, He Chapa, He Kurunaika Sindhu, He Nata, He Ramana, He Nayana Biram, Ha Kadanu Bhavitasi Padam Dishur Me. I mean, it would be very, 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 very difficult to find anything more beautiful than this. Maybe impossible. O my Lord, O dearest one, O only friend of the universe, O Krishna, O restless one, O only ocean of mercy, O my Lord, O my enjoyer, O beloved to my eyes, alas, when will you again be visible to me? It is also Bilvamanga. Unmadir lakan, Kodai Krishna spodan, Bhavaveshe utte pranayman, Solunta vachanditi, man garva vyajastuti, Kabuninda kabuvasaman. The symptoms of madness served as an impetus for remembering Krishna. The mood of ecstasy awoke love, disdain, defamation by words, pride, honor, and indirect prayer. Thus Shri Krishna was sometimes blasphemed and sometimes honored. Tumi deva kridadat, bhuvaner nadijat, tahe koro abhishta kridan, tumi mor daita, mote vaise tomar chitta, mor bhagye koile agaman. In the attitude of Radharani, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu addressed Krishna. My dear Lord, you are engaged in your pastimes and you utilize all the women in the universe according to your desire. You are so kind to me. Please divert your attention to me, for by fortune you have appeared before me. Bhuvaner narigan sabakoro akarshan tahakoro sab samadan tumi Krishna chittahar aiche kon pamar tomadeva keba koreman. My dear Lord, you attract all the women of the universe and you make adjustments for all of them when they appear. You are Lord Krishna and you can enchant everyone. But on the whole, you are nothing but a debauchee. Who can honor you? Tomar chapal mati ekachana hoy stiti tate tomar nahi kichu dosh. Tumi to karuna sindhu amar parana bandhu tomar nahi mor kabudosh. My dear Krishna, your mind is always restless. You cannot remain in one place, but you are not at fault for this. You are actually the ocean of mercy, the friend of my heart. Therefore, I have no reason to be angry with you. Tuminat braja pran, bhaje koro paditran, bahu karja nahi avakash. Tumi amar raman, sukadite agaman, etoma vaidagya vilas. My dear Lord, you are the master and the life and soul of Vrindavan. Kindly arrange for the deliverance of Vrindavan. We have no leisure hours away from our many activities. Actually, you are my enjoyer. You have appeared just to give me happiness. And this is one of your expert activities. Mor vakya nindamani, Krishna chari gela jani, shuno mor istuti vachan. Nayaner abhiram, tumi mor dana pran, ha ha puna deho dadashan. Taking my words as defamation, Lord Krishna has left me. I know that he is gone, but kindly hear my prayers and praise. You are the satisfaction of my eyes. You are my wealth and my life. Alas, please give me your audience once again. Stamba kampa prasved, vaivanyashu swarabe, deho hoilo pulake vyapita. Hase kande nache gai, uti iti uti dai, kane bhume podiya murchita. There were different transformations of the body of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Being stunned, trembling, perspiring, fading away of color, weeping, and choking of the voice. In this way, his whole body was pervaded by transcendental joy. As a result, sometimes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would laugh, sometimes cry, sometimes dance, and sometimes sing. Sometimes he would get up and run here and there, and sometimes fall on the ground and lose consciousness. Murchai hoilo sakshatkar, uti kore hunkar, kohe aila mahashoy, Krishner madhuri gune, nana brahm hoy mane, shlok padi kodoye nishchoy. When Mahaprabhu was thus unconscious, he happened to meet the Supreme Personality of God. Consequently, he got up and immediately made a tumultuous sound, very loudly declaring, "Now Krishna, the great personality, is present." In this way, because of Krishna's sweet qualities, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made different types of mistakes in his mind. Thus, by reciting the following verse, he ascertained the presence of Lord Krishna. This is also Bilva Mangal, Chaitanya-charitamrita. Madha swayam nu madhura duti mandalam nu madhuryam eva nu mano nayanamritam nu veni mrijo nu mama jivita valabo nu Krishnoyam adbhudayate mamalochanaya. In the attitude of Radharani, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu addressed the gopis. My dear friends, where is that Krishna, Cupid personified, who has the effulgence of a kadamba flower, who is sweetness itself, the nectar of my eyes and mind? He who loosens the hair of the gopis, who is the supreme source of transcendental bliss and my life and soul, has he come again before my eyes? Kibae sakshat kam duti bimba murti man, Kima Durja Swayamurti Manta, Kiba Mano Netrotsav. Netrotsav means festival for the eyes. Utsav, you're asking yesterday. That word utsav is festival. Netra is eyes, so you put together Netrotsav. Festival for the Mano Netrotsav, so festival for the mind also and the eyes. Did I read that?
No, I didn't.
Kiba Mano Nechotsav, Kiba Pranavalabh, Satya Krishna, Haila Nechananda. Nechananda, joy of the eyes, Ananda of the eyes. Is Cupid personified present with the effulgence and reflection of the Kadamba tree? Is he the same person, personified sweetness, who is the pleasure of my eyes and mind, who is my life and soul? Has Krishna actually come before my eyes? Guru Nana Bhavagan, Shishya Prabhu Tanuman, Nanadite Satata Nachai, Nirved Vishad Donya, Chapalya Harsha Darja Manyu, E Nitya Babur Kalojai. As the spiritual master chastises the disciples and teaches him the art of devotional service, so all the ecstatic symptoms of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, including despondency, moroseness, humility, restlessness, joy, endurance, and anger, instructed his body and mind. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed his time. Chandidas Vidyapati Rayana Taka Giti Chaitanya-charitamrita Shri Gita Govinda Sarup Ramananda Sane Mahaprabhu Rachi Dine Gai Shune Paramananda. We also heard Gurudev recite this verse different times. He also passed his time reading the books and singing the songs of Chandidas and Vidyapati and listening to quotations from the Jagannath Vallabha Natak, Krishna Karnamrita and Gita Govinda. Thus, in the association of Srup Damodar and Rai Ramananda, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed his days and nights chanting and hearing with great pleasure. Pudir Vatsalya Mukhya Ramananda Shuddha Sakya Govinda Jya Shuddha Dasya Ras Gadadhar Jagadananda Saduper Mukhya Rasananda E Chari Bhave Prabhuvash. Among his associates, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu enjoyed paternal loving affection from Paramananda Puri, friendly affection with Ramananda Rai, unalloyed service from Govinda and others, and humors of conjugal love with Gadadhar, Jagadananda, and Srup Damodar. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu enjoyed all these four mellows, and thus he remained obliged to his devotees. Chadi Bhave Prabhu Vash. This word Vash is referring more to kind of like subdued, like saying in the, because ultimately Krishna, he's controlled by the love of his devotees, right? So, indeed, like he's bound by his devotees, like that. I have to check that word, but it's like that, This is the ultimate victory of devotion. This is the ultimate, like the most powerful quality of devotion. That Sri Krishna Akarshan, what is that? In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. But at this point that Krishna comes under the control of his devotees. So in these four ways they are binding him with their love. This is the idea. Lila Shuk Madhya Jan Tar Hoy Bavodgam Ishwade Se Kiha Vishmoy Tahe Mukhya Rasa Shoy Hoyachen Mahashoy Tate Hoy Sarva Bavodoy. Lila Shuk, Bilvamangal Thakur, was an ordinary human being, yet he developed many ecstatic symptoms in his body. What then is so astonishing about these symptoms being manifest in the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? In the ecstatic mood of conjugal love, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was on the highest platform. Therefore, all the exuberant ecstasies were naturally visible in his body. Purve Vrajavilase Jeti Nabilashe Yatneha Swadna Hoilo Sedadhar Bhavasar Apane Kori Angikar Seti Vastu Aswadilo. During his previous pastimes in Vrindavan, Lord Krishna desired to enjoy the 3 different types of ecstasy, but despite great endeavor, he could not taste them. Such ecstasies are the monopoly of Srimati Radharani. Therefore, in order to taste them, Sri Krishna accepted the position of Srimati Radharani in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, what is Mahaprabhu's tasting matter? Gurudev used this expression. We are hearing that in these beautiful verses. Because it was this type of divine emotion, it's the property of Radharani, right? Krishna can't experience that. So he has to take her heart, appear in her mood in order to experience this. Apane koriya swadane, shikailo bhakta gane, prema chinta mane prabodhane, nahi jane stanastan, jare tare koilo dan, Mahaprabhu datta shiromani. By personally tasting the mellows of love of Godhead, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught his direct disciples the process. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a wealthy capitalist, possessing the touchstone of love of God. Not considering whether one is a proper or improper recipient, he gives his treasure to anyone and everyone. Thus he is the most munificent. E gupta bhava sindhu, brahmanapa eka bindu, henodan vilailo samsade, aiche dayalo avatar, aiche datana hiyar, guna keho nadeva nibade. No one, not even Lord Brahma, can ascertain or even taste a drop of this confidential ocean of ecstasy. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, out of his causeless mercy, has distributed this love of Godhead all over the world. Thus there cannot be any incarnation more munificent than Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There is no greater donor. Who can describe his transcendental qualities? Kohi bar katana hai, kohi leke ho na bujoye, aiche chicha chaitanya ranga, se bujite pade, chaitanya kripa jade, hoeta dasanudasa sangha. Such topics are not to be discussed freely, because if they are, no one will understand them. Such are the wonderful pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Unto one who is able to understand, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has shown mercy by giving him the association of the servant of his own servant. Chaitanya Lila Ratna Sahar Saruper Bandar, Teho Toilo Raghunate Kante, Taha Kichu Jeshu Nilo, Taha Iha Vishta Dilo, Bhakta Gane Dilo E Bete. The pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are the topmost of jewels. They have been kept in the storehouse of Srup Damodar Goswami, who has explained them to Raghunath Das Goswami, who has repeated them to me. Whatever little I have heard from Raghunath Das Goswami, I have described in this book, which is presented to all devotees. Jadi keho heno koe, granta koilo shlokam hoe, ita jane nadibe bujite. Prabhu Jayacharan se kodi varnan, sarva chitta nadiyada dite. If one says that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is full of Sanskrit verses and therefore not understandable by a common man, I reply that what I have described are the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that for me to satisfy everyone is not possible. Nahi kaha savido, nahi kaha anudod, sahaj vastu kodi vivaram, jadi hoy, ragudesh taha hoye avesh, sahaj vastu na jai likan. In this Chaitanya-charitamrita, there is no contradictory conclusion, nor is anyone else's opinion accepted. I've written this book to describe the simple substance as I've heard it from superiors. If I become involved in someone's likes and dislikes, I cannot possibly write the simple truth. This translation is not very clear. I have another one that we made, and I'd like to discuss it next time. It's a very important point that's being made here. But the main idea is that, I'm not trying to go against anyone, nor am I trying to, I'm not for or against anyone, right? I don't have any agenda, right? I'm simply stating the truth. I can't become involved with what people like and don't like. Right? I am just presenting the honest truth as I've understood it here. Jevanahi buje ke ho, shunite se ho, kiya bu Chaitanya-charitamrita. Krishna upajibe priti, janibe rasera diti, shunile boro hoy hit. If one does not understand in the beginning, but continues to hear again and again, the wonderful effects of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes will bring love for Krishna. Gradually one will come to understand the loving affairs between Krishna and the gopis and other associates of Vrindavan. Everyone is advised to continue to hear over and over again in order to greatly benefit. This is also an important verse. Our gurus quote this verse. Must hear with faith, not with so much brain, and it will enter our heart. Bhagavat shloka moy, tikatar samskrita hoy, tabokoi che buje tribhuvan. Iha shlok dui chadi, tar vyakya bhasha kodi, kenena bujibe sarvajam. In reply to those critics who say that Sri Chaitanya-charitamrita is full of Sanskrit verses, it can be said that Srimad Bhagavatam is also full of Sanskrit verses, as are the commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam. Nonetheless, Srimad Bhagavatam can be understood by everyone, as well as by advanced devotees who study the Sanskrit commentaries. Why then will people not understand Chaitanya-charitamrita? There are only a few Sanskrit verses, and these have been explained in the Bengali vernacular. What is the difficulty in understanding? Shesh Lila Suchagan, Koilo Kichu Vivaran, Iha Vistadite Chitta Hoy, Take Jadi Ayushesh, Vishtarivo Lila Shesh, Jadi Mahaprabhu Kripa Hoy. I've already given a synopsis of all the facts and figures of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's last pastimes, and I have a desire to describe them elaborately. If I've remained longer and am fortunate enough to receive the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I shall try to describe them again more elaborately. Ami Vidya Jadatur, Likite Kapoye Ka Kodo, Mone kichu smarana hoy, na dekiye noyane, na shuniye shravane, tabulikiye boro vishmoy. I've now become too old and disturbed by invalidity. While I write, my hands tremble. I cannot remember anything, nor can I see or hear properly. Still I write, and this is a great wonder. Eyantya Lila Sar, Sutra Madhya Vishtar, Kori Kichu Korilu Varnan. Iha Madhya Mari Jabe, Varnitena Paritobe, Lila Bhakta Ganadan. In this chapter I have to some extent described the essence of the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya at the end. If I die in the meantime and cannot describe them in detail, at least the devotees will have this transcendental treasure. Sankepe sutra koilo, jaiho nalikilo ageta goribo vishtar. Jaditata dina jie mahaprabhu kripa hoye icha bodhi kirobo koribo vichar. In this chapter I briefly described the Antya Lila. Whatever I have not described, I shall describe extensively in the future. If by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy I live for so many days that I can fulfill my desires, I will give full consideration to these pastimes. Chota boro bhakta gan, vanda sabashi charan, sobe more koro santosh. Swarup Gosayera Matta, Rupa Raghunath Jane Yatta, Taili ki nahe, nahi mora dosh. I saw once one of these Gaudiya Mat acharyas. He came for some program at our mat, but he before they begin to talk, they have so many verses that they chant, right? And he chanted this, which I thought was very nice. It seemed like he does it like for every talk, It's very sweet. It's choto. Choto means small. Boro means big. Bhakta Gan. So all the little devotees, all the big devotees, I'm worshipping their lotus feet. Vanda Sabarshita. I'm worshipping all of them. I thought it was very, very charming. And it's very like simple Bengali. Like even now today, like choto just means like little, and bodo is big. It's not like fancy language. It's very simple language, In the translation, Srila Swami Maharaj kind of gives it more, the advanced and the neophyte. But that's not, and literally Bengali, it's like really, really, simple language. Like the way you talk to a child or anyone, All the small devotees, all the big devotees. Very charming. I worship here with the lotus feet of all kinds of devotees, both advanced and neophyte. I request all of them to be satisfied with me. I'm faultless because I've written herein whatever I've understood from Srup Damodar and Rup and Raghunath Das Goswami. So I've neither added to nor subtracted from their version. Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Advaitari Bhakta Vrinda Shri Dori Sabhacharan Sarup Rup Sanatan Raghunatha Shri Charan Tulikaram Ashtake Bhushan. According to the Parampara system, I wish to take the dust from the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Prabhu, and all the associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like Srup Damodar, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and Raghunath Das Goswami. I wish to take the dust of their lotus feet upon my head. In this way, I wish to be blessed with their mercy. Payajaragya Dan, Vaja Vaishnavagan, Vandatar Mukya Haridas, Chaitanya Vilas Sindhu, Kalolereka Bindu, Tarkana Kohe Krishna Das. Receiving orders from the above authorities and the Vaishnavas of Vrindavan, especially from Haridas, the priest of Govindaji, I, Krishna's Kaviraj, have tried to describe one small particle of one drop of one wave of the ocean of the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Wow. Wow. It's like, let me just die right now. Incredible, incredible. So beautiful. So beautiful. Jai Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki Jai, Shri Chaitanya-charitamrita ki Jai, Shri Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami ki Jai, Shri Gurudeva ki Jai, Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Jai, Gaur Premanand. Hari Bol.